come to the Imperial Weight Centre to meet Dr. Carol LaRue, a leading obesity expert.
Please take a seat. Andrea has a condition of type 2 diabetes combined with several other complications of being overweight. Type 2 diabetes is a condition where the body becomes very resistant to accepting sugar inside the cells, and this becomes so bad that at some point the pancreas is overwhelmed and is not producing enough insulin. So if you take your shoes off for me.
Andrea is now classed as morbidly obese, which has caused her to recently develop type 2 diabetes.
Losing weight for me is not about how I look. Losing weight for me is more about the health side of things. For me, it's about being able to do things for my children, living longer, and, being around for my children. That's really, really important to me.
Step on for me quickly.
Dieting has worked in the past, and at times Andrea's lost as much as 10 stone, but she's never been able to keep the weight off and is now considering bariatric surgery. There are 3 basic options: a gastric bypass, a band, and a sleeve gastrectomy. They're extremely successful and readily available across the UK on the NHS, but they involve major surgery and are not without risks.
This is a gastric bypass. So what we do is we cut the stomach at the top and they cut the small bowel at the bottom. Right? And what they then do is they take the bit that used to be down here and they plumb it up here.
Andrea, so what do you think of that?
Yeah, really good. He answered a lot of the questions, gave me a lot of information, so yeah, really pleased. I think that possibly I might opt for the bypass.
Really? So that's a surgery where they take it out and restitch them?
Yeah, a bit nerve-wracking. There's sort of risks and everything involved, but I think there's more risks of sort of being overweight long term.
It's the morning of Leslie's operation. The endo barrier isn't available on the NHS, so Leslie's having it fitted privately.
A bit apprehensive, but that's only to be expected as it's going into the unknown.
Hopefully by 10th and 15th we're done. We have to go home today. Here we have a procedure which is simple. It takes 15-20 minutes. There is no incision made, and amazingly, it does improve, if not cure, type 2 diabetics. This is the capsule containing the endobarrier. I'm just going to go in. The endobarrier consists into a lining which goes inside the intestine. It prevents the food which we eat to get into contact with the intestinal wall. And this is the bit of bowel where the major mixture between the enzymes and the food takes place. So we're bypassing that. Therefore, there is no reabsorption and patients lose weight. Okay, now we're going in and look at this. Fantastic.
The device will stay inside Leslie for up to a year before it's removed, but hopefully his diabetes will go into remission in a few weeks. Initial trials suggest the treatment isn't as effective as a bypass, but the huge plus for patients is it doesn't carry the risks of major surgery. This is Tim Daly from Newport Pagnell. He's a financial advisor, and in 2008 he was suffering from a whole host of complications caused by his type 2 diabetes.
I think at the absolute worst I was nearly 26, 27 stone, 58-inch waist, and generally very unwell.
If something drastic wasn't done, Tim risked a major stroke or heart stressing that what happened to Tim is rare. Gastric bypass